Jack Scalo began working in the warehouse of his father's successful roofing company, Burns & Scalo, during school breaks in the late 1970s. Since taking over as president and CEO in 1994, the company has grown exponentially and diversified into roofing-related areas like solar, waterproofing, and maintenance. It's my pleasure to introduce Jack Scalo, president and CEO of Burns & Scalo Roofing Company.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Is it the green button or the clicker? Okay. Okay. I'm going to talk to you guys and girls as a contractor. I've been in the contracting business for a little over 30 years. I'm just going to share with you my experiences, my journey over the last 30 years. I've done a little bit of everything. I'm a second-generation roofing contractor. Our company will be 60 years old next year. So I've experienced that. I've experienced opening branches, some close to Pittsburgh, some far. I've started union companies as well as non-union companies. I've made acquisitions and really developed our company from more than just a roofing company to a building envelope company. We're both residential and commercial. We do waterproofing. We do the complete building envelope with the ACM wall panels as well as solar that was mentioned. So I'm just going to take you through a 60-year journey, really 30 years of my journey in 30 minutes. And when I looked at my slides, I realized I have far too many. So I'm gonna motor through as quick as I can. So we're going to talk about risk versus reward, having a diverse background and doing a lot of things. And frankly, I really enjoyed the business side of the business the most, and that's where I've been focused. So we're gonna measure reward versus risk. As I go through my journey, what my hope is today is that I give you ideas that you've seen someone else accomplish, that you can believe that if this is the path you choose to take, that it is possible and that it can work. So identify your company's story, whatever it is, be passionate about it. I eat, sleep, and breathe my business, probably like most of you. It's not what I do, it's really who I am. Be creative, stop being a commodity. You'll see some slides where the word inside a commodity is common. And in business, common is bad, different is good. Use challenges to create success. I'm going to share with you some of our challenges, some of our failures, some of the bad things that happen to us as well, because that's going to happen to you as well. Not everything is good. And never stop learning, never challenging yourself, because you're either green and growing or brown and wilting. So we're all here to learn. So just, again, our story, strong foundation. My dad started the company in 1956 with his partner Burns. And you see some pictures there. You'll see a couple old pictures. There's a picture of my dad. Some of you might be able to relate to that. That's back in the 50s when he started the company from in one of the old trucks. And our company was started on a residential basis first. And when I got out of school in the early 80s is when we moved into the commercial business. I personally was driving around with my dad handling small residential service issues, and I said to myself, if I'm going to stay in the roofing business, I think there's something more for me than that. And I actually took a job with a general contractor. Well, I'll tell you a real funny story. I told my dad I wanted to go work somewhere else for a year or two after college. He didn't think that was a good idea. And when I told him that I was hired by this general contractor, who was the largest general contractor in our city at the time, he said, "Hey, Jack," he said, "you know that Chevy Blazer you've had your eye on? Why don't we go down to the store and make that your company car?" And so my dad bought me with a Chevy Blazer, and I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I never did go work for anyone else and came right into the family business. And for the last 30 or so years, it's been what I've really enjoyed doing. These are just some old pictures. You can see we're in the north. There's snow on the ground. We still roof in the wintertime. This was our old office when I got out of school. Again, I just want to share with you guys what's possible. When I finished college, that was our office. And there were people that lived in an apartment building upstairs. And there was no room for me. I graduated school in '81, and the economy was bad. I'm like, Dad, here I am, and there really wasn't a place for me. And when I did get my first office, they moved someone out of the apartment. I was able to go into the one of the rooms, and I thought it was a really big deal when I was able to get carpet and an air conditioning unit. The only problem with the air conditioning unit is when it turned on, it blew all the papers off my desk because it was one of those window mounts, But just going to show you guys some humble beginnings here and what's possible. This is an early day picture of me in the office with estimators, salespeople. This is another picture out on the roof, so kind of learning the business from the ground up, doing all the different jobs. And this is today. My son's here with me, and we're starting the planning now for the succession planning for the third generation. And this is a picture of my leadership staff, my executive team, on the roof of our headquarters, which we'll show you a little bit more of. So, we are a corporation that happens to be in the roofing business. And I will tell anyone that wants to scale their business, that wants to grow their business, you have to really focus on the business side of the business. You have to know the roofing, and you have to learn it from the ground up. But when you get bigger, it gets harder. And when you get twice as big, it doesn't get twice as hard. It gets 200 times as hard. And you really have to have good management practices in place. What gets measured in business is what gets done. You have to have good business practices in place. And you have to be able to talk to your people to tell them that the roofing is really our widget. And if it wasn't roofing, the way we perform our business should still be successful, even if we were selling something different than roofing or installing something different than roofing. So we're a corporation that happens to be in the roofing business. Stop commoditizing your business. As I said before, common is bad, different is good. So if you want to sell against price, and you've heard other people say that, if you want to be a Walmart, Walmart's successful, but they sell on price. And that's not the way to be successful. So you have to find ways to move away from price and figure out what you can do different in your business to get away from being the low-price commodity. When we invest in anything, we have two investment criteria. So any evaluation of any new item that we're going to invest money in or time, we're going to make sure that the business or the investment idea has to meet two basic criteria. And that's these two right here, that it has to be scalable, meaning that if we're going to start doing it, it has to be something that can grow. And then the second one is that it has to be sustainable. It has to be able to last. So we don't want to spend our time, our money, our effort into anything that's not going to be able to scale, grow in size, or be able to last long term. This is not a business that you can get rich quick. It is not a business that you can grow super quick. The reason, and this is just my experience, is that we are so dependent on people. And you will spend a tremendous amount of your time developing your people. And if you don't have the right people, it won't work. Even if your idea is great, if you don't have the right people, it won't work. So you have to groom people, you have to develop people, you have to get them to follow you, they have to believe in you, they have to trust you, and that's what takes the time. So in all these conventions that I've been to over the years, it's never the idea that's the hard part. It's the implementation of the idea that's the hard part. So whatever notes you're taking, whatever ideas you get, they're great, but the hard part is when you get home and you want to implement them. And then you have to get your people to buy in. Because, in my company, a lot of people are like, oh man, here he comes again, he's got another good idea, but we know that's going to, everybody wants to know what's in it for them. They may have to work harder, it's going to stretch them to grow. And so the hardest part is the people. And in our company, we call it people power. And we shine a lot of light on our people all the time, and we'll see that in some of these upcoming slides. We have this is just a sign in our estimating department. We want to win more, not bid more. One of the fears that I've always had is to become a bid factory. And I don't know about you, but in most people's business, if you sell 25 to 30%, if you land 25 to 30% of everything that you price, we consider that good. Well, it's really hard for me to get excited about, even if we win 1/3 of what we bid. What that really means is that we're flushing 2/3 of our estimating sales dollars down the drain. And that's really hard to get excited about. So I say to our sales estimator guys, and I'll also share with you that I've learned over the years that it's very hard to hybrid people, that our salespeople are separate people from our estimators. And I know that costs more money and has more layers of people, but estimators and salespeople are two different breeds. But when I talk to the estimators, we say, do you want to win more or bid more? And obviously, it's an easy answer. So this leads into why we've done some of the things that we've done to diversify our business besides just roofing. We take what's called a six-sided approach. Now, this is on the commercial side for the commercial contractors, but this could apply to residential too, with siding, soffit fascia, gutters, downspouts, windows. We take a six-sided approach. We really are a roofing company, but the roof is really the fifth wall of the building. And the six sides of a building are the foundation, the four walls, and the roof. So when we go to market, we try to get all these pieces. And in the commercial world, for the commercial contractors here that work for general contractors, you guys all know that general contractors would prefer to have less subs, not more subs. So if you can look at that on the commercial side, we're chasing vegetated green garden roofing, we're chasing the solar, the membrane roof, the metal roofs, the skylights, louvers, sunshades, plaza decks, the air barriers, equipment screens, wall panels, and the foundation. We've had pretty good success being able to tie up the building envelope, because what we also tell our customers is that we will not only manage these connections, but we'll warrant them. And again, for the commercial contractors here, everything is moving towards building energy efficiency, meaning all these buildings today, they have to be both airtight and watertight. So if we can manage the connections between the foundation and the walls and the roof, and not only manage but warrant the water tightness and the air tightness. And what we learned the hard way with taking this six-sided approach is that because we are the roofing contractor already doing some of the wall panel work, is that if they had a water entry problem, they called us anyway. They called us. They blamed, you know who they call? They call the most responsible person that they think can solve their problem, even though they don't tell you it's not your problem. In our business, we're guilty till we prove ourselves innocent. It's backwards, right? Everybody has been there, right? We're guilty till we prove ourselves innocent. So what we've learned that I want to share with you is that to me, it's more about control. If I'm going to be on the hook and I'm going to get blamed for the problem, then I at least want to have as much control as possible up front, because then I know what happened. I don't have to play forensics and try to figure out what happened just to try to get myself out from under the bus, that the general contractor put me in. So we said, hey, we think there's a better way to do this. And so we've taken control of the situation to try to not only make money, but manage the process. And for a lot of you that you compete for space. These jobs have horrible access. And if you're doing more pieces of the job, you actually gain more control of the site as far as access. So we've taken a six-sided approach. Here's some pictures of some jobs. I have 3 or 4 pictures of just some projects where you can see this was a project that we did the green garden, the membrane, and all the solar. This is a job in Pittsburgh. This is a job, again, where it's on here because it's so different that we actually put solar on top of the fuel canopy, which normally we would have nothing to do with that fuel canopy. But because of the solar, we also ended up treating the canopy itself as the rack for the solar, and it's just a way to pick up more pieces of the project. This is a Giant Eagle grocery store we just finished out in Carmel, Indiana, which is Indianapolis. And Giant Eagle is a Pittsburgh-based company that just put a big center out there. And we did the membrane roof. We did the solar panels. We actually installed solar skylights here. And we also did all the ACM wall panels. And so we turned, I'll back up. I'll give you this as an example. If we weren't going to take on all of those other pieces of the project, we would have never won the roofing contract. They would have hired a local contractor from Indianapolis area who could have put that roof on for less money than we could, because we had room, board, and travel costs. The only reason we ended up putting that roof on is because we had a value proposition that was attractive to them with the solar and all the other items that I just mentioned to you. So again, it's a way to be different that ended up with a large contract. This is a picture of a wall panel job, ACM wall panel job. And it's funny because there's been a couple times where we've done the wall panels but not the roofing. You know, somebody beat us out on the roof, but they still hired us for the wall panels, or vice versa. So when you take this approach and you go after more of the job, sometimes you don't get it all like you hope, but sometimes you end up with, pieces of the pie that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So, sometimes a half a loaf of bread's better than the whole loaf, or better than no loaf. So we've seen that happen as well. So just to talk about trying to cover all the bases, I guess my message to you is that whatever, you're chasing, think about if there's other components beyond the roof that you can tie up in a contract, and again, make your company be different in a positive way. So as far as covering all the bases, not just on jobs, but I'll just go over some things that, like I touched earlier, that we've done. I mean, we touch every market base. We touch the existing re-roof market, we touch the new construction market, and then we pursue outside of just Pittsburgh on a geographic basis. We don't travel the country. We're not a national contractor. We're a regional contractor. We work in 7 or 8 states on a pretty regular basis. We have all different customer types: commercial, industrial, residential. I told you we were residential before we were commercial. We were actually non-union before we were union. So Burns and Scalo is a non-union company. I formed a company 25 years ago called Cuddy Roofing, which is my wife's nickname, and it just serves the union market in Pittsburgh, because in our marketplace, the union market's still too big to ignore. It's advantageous to be non-union the majority of the time, but the market's still too big to ignore. So, I said 25 years ago, I said, hey, I'm not union, I'm not non-union, I'm business. My customer decides which way they want to buy the project. So I'm just listening to them, and my job, if I want to do business with them, is to figure out how I can provide the service in the manner that they desire. So I'm not union, I'm not non-union, I'm business. I need to be able to flip that switch and build a company that can help that customer buy it the way they want to buy it. So you have to think outside the box. Last year was one of the things. I opened a branch office in one far away, one close. I wanted to see the differences. I had never done an acquisition. Last year we did our first acquisition. It was a small acquisition. It was a safe acquisition. It was a residential company that we bought. We bought a 90-year-old company in Pittsburgh that was well branded, that had a nice reputation, and we wanted to really experience an acquisition. I wanted to do it just to get the feel for my company. I wanted my company to feel what it would be like to do an acquisition, because it has a huge impact on your people. And I told all our people when we did our first acquisition, hey, just apply your normal business acumen to this company that you do on a daily basis for our company. And it was interesting to see so many people in our company just kind of rise to that occasion, and we're nicely challenged by the ability to be able to feel like it almost validated them to what they were doing for us every day. It validated what they were doing as the right thing when they were able to apply it to another business that we just bought that they could see didn't have the same practices or culture. And it was a pretty good experience, if I could speak for our employees. So it's funny, you have to challenge your people too. If you have good people, you need to challenge them. If you don't challenge them, they'll go work somewhere else where someone else will challenge them. So the acquisition to me was really a challenge to our people, and it was positive. As far as this slide here, one of the things I've just learned over the years is look for confusion or gaps in the market. Confusion creates opportunity. Gaps in a market create opportunity. So if you guys live in your market, you know what you eat, sleep, and breathe your market. You know what's going on in your market. You have a lot of business contacts. Follow your instincts. If there's a gap in your market and you want to grow your business, shoot the gap. If there's confusion in the market, maybe a big competitor goes out of business for whatever reason, as an example, take advantage of that. With confusion creates opportunity. So, I always tell our people, run to the fire. If there's a fire, you got to run to it. If you run away from the fire just gets bigger. It burns brighter. There can be a market fire. There can be confusion in your market. Run to the fire, figure it out, see how you can benefit. Embrace technology. We have invested 7 digits in technology in our company. We are technology Nazis. Ninjas is what I call our people. I'm not talking about just your accounting and your estimating software, but I'm talking about learning how to get technology and force it down into the field. We got rid of all of our paper from the field. Paper in the field doesn't work. Okay, it gets lost, it gets wet. It's in the guy's behind the seat in his car, down on the ground. It doesn't work. It blows away. Everything's paper, including, we got rid of time cards. Everything's electronic, including their time cards. And you guys know, you'll fight your people to embrace technology, but the one piece of paper that our people always seem to get right was what? Their time card, right? I couldn't get all the other stuff I wanted, but I'd always get their time card. So it was funny how quick they adopted to the technology of electronic time cards, because we ran parallel with paper and technology for about a month, and then we said, hey, guess what? We're going to cut the umbilical cord. We're not going to accept paper time cards anymore. So you would be amazed at how fast people that tell you that they don't understand technology, can't even send an email, are now doing electronic time cards. So it's pretty interesting to see that. Dennis Riley's here. I know we're not supposed to be plugging anybody, but this FCS program has been a big piece of our company, and we private labeled it. We call it Master Key, but we use technology now for as soon as the lead comes in, from the beginning all the way to the end of the project, to the closeout of the project. And we're very, very heavily dependent on the technology now in the field. And these are reports that actually go to our customers. So what I liked is our foreman's reports now electronically go to the client every day. And it shows a level of transparency and accountability to our client. So now don't worry, our project managers have a chance to edit these reports before they go to the client. I know, because you're all sitting there worrying about, oh my God, I can only imagine, what might go to my client. So our PMs get to edit these every night, and then they go out, it goes out. But we have had rave reviews from our clients about getting these reports, because most clients, many clients, especially in residential, don't go up on their roof. Very few go up on their roof. So we bring the roof to them. And we've used this as a sales tool for our residential salesmen to actually show the client that, as far as that value proposition, that if you hire us, this is an added value that we're going to provide you that you're probably not going to get from our competitor. And people love pictures and colors and seeing what you're doing. So that technology's been a big plus, and has definitely improved our bottom line. But one thing I learned with technology is that once you go down that path, once you start to invest, you really never stop, and that's the hard part. The other thing with technology that I learned is you'll spend more money than you think you're going to spend, and it'll take longer to implement than you think it's going to take. So you have to be patient with it, and you have to be committed that you've made that decision, and it's not going to end. It's going to continue to go on and on. The other thing we do is employee culture. We've heard other people talk about it. We want VIP customer service. We don't want just happy customers. We want to treat every customer like a VIP. And I'll argue with anyone that there's not a person in this room that doesn't like to be treated like a VIP. It's just human nature. We all enjoy it. We need to make our customers feel that important. There's a little thing there that says job security. I tell all of our people that I don't provide job security. The customer does. If the customer's not happy, they can fire every individual in our company, including me, just by hiring somebody else. If they don't hire us the next time, they hire somebody else, we were fired. So the customer is the one that provides job security, not the owner. These are things that we do for our customers. We had a VIP customer experience day. We took 25 customers to Steeler training camp this year. We had footballs made that had our logo on them, and it said Customer VIP Day. And we had our solar logo and our roofing logo on it. We gave them all a football because we wanted them to remember the day, and we wanted them to have something nice that they'd probably put on their shelf, as a keepsake. So you have to spend money on your customers too. You can't get cheap on your customers. Don't give them a cheap pen. Give them a good pen, right? Spend money on your customers. This is our office building. We're in a 65,000 square foot headquarters building. We moved in here 13 years ago, 2003, 12 years ago. We have 20,000 square feet of office, 40,000 square foot of warehouse, and a 5,000 square foot maintenance building, and it sits on 10 acres. So I showed you that humble beginning slide right from the beginning, 30 years ago when I got out of college. Well, this was 10 years ago. So what I'm saying is these are all things that are possible. What I wanted a proud building. I wanted a building that showed commitment to the business and showed confidence in the future. I wanted to have a corporate look, because we're a corporation first, a roofing company second. So this building to us was a sales tool that was part of our message, part of our culture, and that's why we built it the way we did. In the front, it looks like an office building. I invite everybody in this room to come visit us. I'd love to share it with you. In the back, it was built for roofing. It is 100% built for a roofing company on the back. And what I did is I traveled around the country, and I asked people who had the nicest facilities. And I went and visited every one of them. And I took notes from each interview, and then went back to our architect to design our building. Everybody said, when I asked them a common question, I said, what would you do differently if you did it again? Everyone gave me the same answer. I would have built on more land. Every single one of them. So most of these places were built on 5 acres. I built on 10, just for that reason. So whatever you think, if you're going to build a new facility, you think, man, I don't know how I'm going to grow into this. I don't know how I'm going to fill this. You might surprise yourself. Give yourself some extra room, because if you have the land, you can always add to it. This is our roof on our headquarters. Half the roof's EPDM, half's TPO, multiple solar technologies, 5 different solar technologies, multiple green garden technologies, multiple skylight technologies. This is how we get our customers to our building. You guys know most of your customers don't come to you. You go to them. Well, flip it around. Give them a reason to come see you. Once they come see you, what I always say is, look, do yourself a favor, go visit my competitor's office before you make your decision. Because I know that they're going to see something different. They're going to be stepping over roof cement cans and everything else. So we've had over 3,000 visitors to our roof. It's a great sales tool. There's another picture of our roof. Yeah. So it's really worked. It's really, really worked as a draw to get people to our place. We teach graduate study courses to all the universities. We formed an academic advisory council, and we teach classes to all the universities on sustainability, green garden, and mostly solar. And this is a class. This was actually a class with customers. I got to get moving here. I'm running out of time. But winning companies are convinced that the future rests not on the brilliance of their executives, but on the dedication and inventiveness of their employees. People power, People will be your biggest disappointment in your career, but they'll also be your biggest joy. Create an employee culture that encourages them to drive your business, not support it. I don't let people support our business. I want them all driving the business. How we engage our employees: first-class training, stretch and challenge them, reward their successes, involve them in giving back. I'm running out of time. And don't forget about having fun. Make sure they have fun. We give back. We do a lot of give backs to our community. This is us with a check. This was, we adopted a school, and we gave all the 300 kids free school supplies in their school, but more importantly, we brought our employees in with their families to help them build the backpacks, and then whoever helped build the backpacks, they got to go on a bus and deliver and hand out the school supplies to the kids. Just some more pictures of that. Volleyball, company picnic. I am really in trouble on time here. Okay. I could talk for 30 more minutes, but they're not going to let me. Always be prepared. Whenever you least suspect. We had a flood in 2004. We were in this beautiful building for a year and a half, and we were flooded. It made me sick. It was the first time I ever thought our business was in trouble. I mean, every truck was submerged. We had water up to the doorknobs in a year-and-a-half-old building. It was devastating. It was the biggest tragedy ever in our business. And then we had the Great Recession in 2009. I'm going to go fast. The recession made us all get better, overcoming challenges. Workforce workload. I don't know, do we have time for the quick video, or we're just going to show you something we're doing about training? Just a minute or two clip. We're investing heavily in training. The days are over.
The process with Pittsburgh Works has been one that I think most employers should go through if they haven't already. They're a great partner.
The relationship with Pittsburgh Works is they provided us sources to provide employees that want to enter the workforce, want to do our type of work. What we've learned about hiring employees, it's very much the same as trying to get the next sale. We never know where our next lead's going to come from. We never know where our next really good employee is going to come from. So we've learned that you have to cast a broad net in the way of a pipeline of where people come from to enter this program. That's beneficial to us. What we're really trying to provide is not jobs, but careers. And we know as the employer that the biggest impediment to our growth is the available workforce.
This is a quick train program, which means it's 6 weeks. And during that 6-week period, they have classroom, hands-on, life skills, everything from how to measure and how to put on a roof. were an employer-sponsored training. I had great partners over at Pittsburgh Works. They came together to provide us a very talented pool of candidates to pick from. Then you have help recruiting into your training. Along with that, you have the autonomy to make your training specific to your needs and also helping us make a training. I am not a professional training maker by any means. I'm an HR director. They gave me the tools and the resources that I needed to put this together from scratch. And our goal is employment. I want to hire the best of the best, and I'm really excited that I get to see them here for 6 weeks while they're at our facility and going through the training.
We graduated 40 employees this year through our training program. Yes, yes. Here's just the last slide because Jill's up here. It's time to go. Yeah. So this last slide. Stay humble, stay hungry. That's our motto at work. Even if you're successful and a lot of things go well, stay humble and stay hungry. You know, because the world's changing so fast that we've got to change with it. So thanks everyone.